And we are live. Welcome to the Winner Circle, the podcast about jiu-jitsu, MMA, and other combat sports. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Angel Diaz, Chris Walker, and Isaiah Gathens. What's up, fellas?
What's
What's
up,
going
man?
on? What's going on?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Mondays, you got the Winner Circle with myself, Angel, Chris, and Isaiah. Tuesdays is the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Wednesdays, you can get the traditional way with Brett Shumway. Thursdays is Fist Kicks and Flicks with me, Angel, and Joe. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on? We're back.
What's up? What's up? What's
Long
up? We
time no
are
We're
see.
back,
back.
baby.
We're
Long
back.
time no see, man.
Yeah, when we got a nice little scolding from the director. I didn't even realize. Did you guys
Yeah.
even realize it's been 3 months since the last time we did the show? I
So
didn't.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So when he said it's been 3 months, I swear to God, I swear I'm not even front. I was gonna say, I swear it's been 3 weeks, and then I stopped myself and I said 3 months, and then I had to like think, and I was like, I think it was around Ocean State we had it, and then after that it was like something happened with all of us, like it just kept popping off.
Mhm.
Like it just life hit, and then I was like, "Oh, it's been 3 months. Like this has been." But then a part of me was also like, "Damn, I hope my summer doesn't go as fast as those 3 months did. I hope it slows down because I can't."
It's definitely gonna because it's already July.
Yo, hey, listen, man. The other day I was like, "It's July 4th." I said, "I better make the most of these summer days because I gotta go back to work soon. Like, I can't keep doing this." So this
Yeah.
is
When you go
That's
back, when you
correct.
when you start back school.
like the third week of August. So
Okay.
yeah, pretty soon.
All right. Well, how has your summers been, guys?
It's been busy. A lot of life
I know for you.
has transpired since the last time we were here doing the show, and just like Angel said, I was surprised too because I'm like 3 months, get out of here, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm
3 months.
like, yeah, it has been about that. Like I remember it was like a holiday that was coming up or something, and then after that, it's just like everybody was just everywhere. You know what I
It
mean?
started.
Me,
It started
back
hitting
and
us.
forth, and everybody at
Yeah.
competitions. So it happened fast, man, for sure.
Hey, listen, listen for people that don't know, if you don't got Isaiah Gathing's Facebook, you gotta get it because when this man says he's a time traveler, like that's a real time traveler. Like I don't like I swear like I'm not this is not even me making this up. I swear I saw you post a video of you teaching, right?
Uh,
I took a nap. I went to bed, woke up in the morning. I see the time traveler traveling back through time, right? You
yeah.
go back to Vegas, and I swear to God, it was like 10 o'clock that night. And I saw you back on the plane to go back. I said, "There's no way this is even like." I was like, I kept thinking it was the same picture. I was like, "There's no way," but it was a different picture. I was like, "This guy literally goes through the whole way." Like I thought I flew a lot, and I thought Gene would be like, "Angel, damn man, you travel a lot." I would be like, "Nah, man, I don't travel nearly as much now as Isaiah." Isaiah got it.
I appreciate that, Antoine. Thanks, man. I appreciate that compliment on the hat. Yeah, man, back and forth a lot, man. And just it's so funny because you can have like a straight up slow season, like you just got nothing going on, and then all of a sudden this life hits you just like that, and it's just like, man, like it's just back to back to back to back to back. When we going back and forth, opening the school up in Michigan, in Clinton Township, and then me coming back out here as well, teaching and just trying to handle and manage life. It's just been crazy. And when I go, I just book one way tickets because I never know how long I'm gonna be there. So I book a
Oh
one
wow.
way ticket, and then I just stay there as long as I need to, and then I just come back, and it's just back and forth like that. So
That's wild.
yeah,
Yo, that's I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, and I say this on like the best way possible, but that's spoken like a true hitchhiker. Like that's like a true hitchhiker
that's
mentality.
it.
Like,
That's
I
it.
will go one way, and I'll let Earth be my guide, and I'll figure out where I go from there. Like
Hey,
that's
hey, hey, Gene
Yeah.
know about it. You know what I mean? When Mr. Plowden would compete in tournaments back in the day, he used to tell stories about how he would just get a one way Greyhound ticket to the tournament, and he wouldn't even have anywhere
Hmm.
to sleep. or he would have a way back, and he would have to win grands just to be able to get back. So he don't have enough money to get there. He crashed with like one of his teammates or whatever. He don't have no money to get back. So if he don't win grands, he's stranded. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
you know.
It
So
was
you know all
actually
about
crazy
it.
when he said that. Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, you went to a tournament and you had to win grand in order to get money to come back home.
Yes.
Hell no.
That's what it was.
That's having confidence in your skill for real.
Yes. Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's having confidence, man. What's up, T-Walk, man? How you been, man?
And life has been lifing. A lot of work, a lot of traveling back and forth to between Georgia and Florida. A lot of event stuff happening. Man, it's been hectic to say the least. So just hanging in there, kind of traveling around doing that and trying to get this Waco thing going on. We get ready for Worlds. We had junior Pan Americans get changed up on us, so we just announced the date for December 17th, starting off in Guatemala. So like there's just a lot of things going on over here on this side, down here in the south. But life is good, family's good, so getting after it.
Let me ask you something, man. Are you retired or are you still competing?
That's
No,
a
I'm
good
still
question.
competing.
That's a
You're
good
still
question.
competing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still competing. Why?
Because I wanted to know who in the main game was still competitors. You know,
Oh, okay,
I know
okay.
I'm not competing. I know Trav's not competing.
Right. No. I've been trying to get Trav to train. You look at me like
Straight.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Listen, the day I hear he's training, I'll book a ticket to get out there. Be like, I just gotta be there. Like
you heard that, Trav?
I can't. Like I swear to you, I will book a ticket to get out there just for that. Like, I would do that.
I
Man,
used to train with Trav when he was training still here. In
That's what I'm
Atlanta. He used to
saying.
come
That's why.
through.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying that. That's why I'm saying I would have to. Like I would have to. I would have to. So
Yeah, that's Jeff still competes. Alex don't
Yeah.
compete no more.
Right.
Angels competes.
You
So
know,
yeah. I'm competing at Waco this year in Abu Dhabi. So Zeke, you
Okay.
compete still jiu-jitsu at least?
I got out there. They had a tournament here, a sport karate tournament in February, and I got out. I hadn't competed in maybe like 10 years, and I got out and competed.
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
dope, though. Hey, listen, man. That's like
what's
the
up.
dope part about it, though. You know what, man? So this is like a really quick story, though. But like, so we talk about like how Chris competes, right? It was February. I sent Chris a message because I saw a video of he did kick light. And I sent Chris a message. I said, bro, I don't know what it is, but I just love watch you compete in kickboxing. Like it's something different. I just love, and like a part of it is because I'm a huge, and I've told Chris before, like I'm a huge fan of his. Like I've watched like thousands of his fights and forms and everything. I've watched all his stuff. So like I'm a huge Chris Walker fan. But just outside of that, there's just something about the fact that he could do it at his age. And you would like if Chris was to tell you his age, you would say no. Because I tell people all the time, like y'all don't even know, man. Like other people his age can't do the stuff he's doing, like at all, like not even close. So I'm like, you guys really don't know like what he could do, who he is. Like it's just crazy. So for him to just pop out and I just see him doing a kick light, I'm like, this man don't even talk about it. Like he just come out and do it. It's crazy, man. I always think about the day that Raymond Daniels said like probably the most all around martial arts competitor ever is probably Chris Walker, and I was like, that's a solid statement to make. Like talk about forms, talk about tricking, talk about sport karate, MMA, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. Like you say it, like Chris has done it, and not even just has participated. He's like done it at a high level. So I gotta say that, man. Like Chris, please keep competing, bro. Don't stop. Like please don't stop.
That's props,
That's
man.
No, seriously.
I got a question.
Like,
I had a question for you guys. All four of us have academies, and I just thought of this as we were sitting here talking, and I'm going over some work crap. It's running in the background of my brain as I'm talking to you guys. But this summer has been a different summer for me. Like I'm getting a lot of students or parents that's enrolling their kids during summer. Summer is normally slow for me. I'm normally busy in January. I normally get a rush of kids, about 10 to 20 kids in January, and then in April, and then it kind of dies down in the summertime. This year, it's kind of picked up in the summertime. How's everything going with your academies?
Mine's is honestly, I've been having a few influxes of people. You know what? Actually, I've been getting more private lessons. So
Okay.
like because now like the kids have the time to do it,
Mm.
and for the kids that aren't in like the day camps or anything, now it's like private lessons are like so now that's like a thing that I've been getting more of. That and I'll be honest with you, man, a lot more people asking for kickboxing and personal training like during the day. So
Okay.
like that's what I've been getting my influx in. What about you guys? Chris, you run summer camp in the summer, right?
Yep,
Yeah. So yeah, I know.
absolutely. Summer camp this year, depending on which one of our locations it is, some have been up and some have been down. Some of it right around. Some of our camps are maxed out to the brim. As far as evening classes go across the board, there's a steady trickle of people across the board. Usually, like you said, Gene, like it's the slow time. Um, but Angel, like you did say, because kids don't have school as much, there's a lot more private lessons, a lot more makeups, a lot more catch-ups. Also, we're in a decent income area, so that there's a lot of vacations. So there's 2-3 weeks here, 2-3 weeks here. So that's the hardest part. So you don't get a lot. That's I think why we don't get a lot of new kids. Just people aren't going to want to commit to 1 to 3 months
Mm.
for something that they're going to leave for 2 weeks in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah. Zeke, what about you, man? Because you deal with a different demographic usually.
So, just a little bit of background for you guys and maybe people who are watching and listening who don't know. So, I actually had an academy that I ran for 15 years, and a couple different academies. A couple in Warren. These are outskirts of Detroit, Roseville, Hazel Park, things like that. And I ended up closing with like a lot of my friends and a lot of other individuals right when COVID hit. This was like December 2019. So it's been like a 6 year gap, since I actually had an academy. I was just doing, private training, working with people out here in Vegas, the gyms. I still had students in Detroit, and I would train them via Zoom classes a few times a week for all these years. Fly out there, do testings, take them to tournaments, and then again, just go to different people's gym out here and work with fighters and stuff like that. But I did not have an academy until June. So the landscape just really changed a lot over 6 years' time. And I was talking to my staff and students and people and telling them exactly what Gene just said. Like summer is historically a slow time for our particular industry. And I was afraid of having a grand opening in June because of that. Like it's the beginning of summer. We're not running a summer camp because we're brand new. We've been out the game for 6 years and we're trying to develop a client and student base. So I'm like, at the beginning of summer, our slowest time, and I'm doing a grand opening, and I haven't had an academy in 6 years. Really nervous time. So with that said, I attributed the students and people that we were getting to the fanfare of the grand opening. I assumed that it was, it's a grand opening. People see that we're new in the neighborhood. It's a pretty decent community. Not a lot of competitors around in our area. So I attributed to that in June. But already in July, I'm starting to see us getting, appointments on the books. And I'm with you. I feel like that even though I've been gone away from running an independent location for 6 years, I still do feel like it's different, even just after a little bit over a month of having this location, as relates to there being more activity over this summer than it normally is. Same for you. Around tax time, that's like late January, February, March. We normally would get really busy through April,
Mm-hmm.
and it would start slowing down at the end of May. At June we'd be hurting, man. We have to have fundraisers and things like that over the summer, and it would pick back up again after Labor Day. Maybe towards the end of September, we would rock out. All the way until the end of October, and then as it starts to approach around Thanksgiving, it starts to slow down, and then obviously in December people prioritize rather than paying tuition or enrolling their kids. So that was kind of the roller coaster that we were on. But so far, I agree with you. Just being back open a little bit over a month, it seems a little bit different. Like there's a lot more activity and enrollments over the summer than it used to be.
You got your academy together quick, man. Like were you? That's all you did when you came here. Like for those weekends, like you just stayed. You had to have because you got that school together quick.
Yeah. We got it together in about 60 days. It's a small location, but it's really tiny. Like we're gonna fill it up fast. I'm already looking for another one because I wanted to start small, having been gone for so long. And we just went right back to our core bases, which is traditional martial arts. But like Angel said, already I'm getting a ton of people like, do you teach kickboxing? Do you have jujitsu? Do you have this? And I'm like, no, we don't. We want to go right back to our roots, which is traditional martial arts. We typically get a much more consistent and steady and dependable group of individuals through that to be able to build out other programs. This location's too small to do that, but I'm already looking for one that's in the community, like right nearby as an overflow location that's much bigger that we can start to offer those programs. But I had good staff, man. I had a lot of people that really stepped up and helped out. I was blessed in that particular regard. Like I said, super small location, but in my opinion, it was probably one of the most challenging ones that we had to get together because most of the basic things that are together when you rent a facility, it wasn't. Like it was totally gutted out 100%. For martial arts, that's good. We like open space, but when I say totally gutted out, like the walls, when the walls up, like the ceiling, like it was like we had to really do everything just to get it to a suitable place to even start building it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Super challenging. It was a crunch, but I really had good staff members, man, and good family, friends, and a lot of people that step in and help, while I was there and definitely in my absence.
That's good, man. That's good. Let's get to our first topic for tonight. So I heard that Jon Jones retired. How do you guys feel about that? What do you guys think? Do you guys think he's really gone?
I personally don't think he's gone. I'm gonna be honest. When I first heard it, I was like, man, like he finally did it, right? And I feel like I almost feel like something like, he got me because I was like, oh, he finally did it. And then I saw someone say 13 days was how long it lasted. And then he was back in the testing pool. And, one cannot help but say how coincidental he would go back in the testing pool after they elevated Tom Aspinall to heavyweight champion. And they're already trying to book him a fight, or they've already booked the fight. So now he'll say, okay, now I'm able to come back because I can fight whoever I want. And my name draws a crowd. My name's going to draw paper. My name's going to do what it does. So he ain't gone. He's just I think he does have one more fight though. I think he has one more fight left. I don't think he has too many left. I say at most 2.
Now, how old is
really.
he? Is he 38, 39, 40?
You want to help me there? Around there? I would say 38. I think he has to be around 38 because he was champion at what, 21?
37. He's 37.
37. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gone. I think it was just a smart move it was just business, man. Playing that cat and mouse game with Dana White. It's just business. That's all. What do you guys think?
I saw that he said that he wanted to fight. President Trump announced that he was going to have a UFC card on the White House lawn. And
what? You didn't see that?
Yeah,
where have y'all been? Like, are we not out here? Like,
Jon Jones said he wanted to fight on that card. It's supposed to be next year for America's 250th birthday celebration. So we'll see what happens with that.
Exactly.
If Jon Jones and Conor McGregor try doing that.
See, I'm gonna stop you right there. See that, and there we go. See, now I'm gonna stop you right there. And I was waiting for my turn. Who cares? It's at a point in time right now where these guys they're really grasping for straws. Conor McGregor and Jon Jones, they've gotten to a point to where their relevance is just that of teasing. More so Conor than Jon, because Jon has got out there recently and done something. But as fast as its landscape continues to grow and change, with all these different champions and these phenoms, people are sick of this game of waiting around to see if you're in, if you're out. You are really losing people, and at some point, people just not going to care anymore. You know what I mean? And with Conor, I mean, especially for him, like, dude, you got your behind whooped how many times now? Like, I mean, he still got people running around here thinking he undefeated. Who's seen him lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, you should not have this much pull and cachet, and we can see you get strangled and dropped several times, and you can put these tweets out and keep stringing people along. It's like, I mean, maybe John can get away with it because he is an accomplished individual. Not saying that Conor didn't accomplish anything, but man, he went out there getting stretched out like this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, they running neck and neck with the relevance thing. Where in a minute, people just really not going to care. All of these games they playing, whether it be business or not, it's just really turning people off because there's so many other studs and phenoms that you can watch nowadays. And the game just continues to evolve. Well, I don't miss seeing John Jones. It don't bother me. I'm gonna tell you right now, it wouldn't bother me if I never saw him fight again. I wouldn't care if I saw Conor ever fight again. It doesn't matter. There's too many other people to enjoy and look forward to than keep on dealing with this nonsense. So I don't even know if people really even care like that anymore. To be honest with you,
that's a good point. That's a good point. What about you, Chris?
I think the casuals do care. I think the people who understand fighting understand that Father Time always wins. So regardless of what the tease is, regardless of whatever that is, there's always going to be the next wave of fighters because there always has been. What I think holds it back a lot is the amount of cards that they're putting out, the amount of pay-per-views, the amount of things that they're doing. I think there's no time to build. We talk about it all the time. The most important the way to catch the viewer's attention is to have a story behind it. Right now it's churning out just fights. It's churning out production. It's just turning out that we see that. There's no more invested. Now, I'm not saying go back to the Ultimate Fighter, but we cared about those fighters. We cared about their UFC careers following behind it. We had a vested interest in these guys and in their journey and in this fight game. And then to watch dudes who would come over when we got Acquired Pride and all the rest of it. There was an interest. There's just fights now. And there's always fights. There's a fight this weekend. There's a fight next weekend. There's a fight the following weekend. You just got to pick and see who you like. And that depends. As far as John goes, for me, I think he's got one fight, maybe two fights, if he does decide to do anything. And it's gonna be my thing is maybe Pereira comes back and wins his title. And then he fights Pereira. Maybe Pereira doesn't come back to win the title. Maybe that's a super fight. Maybe I think it's going to be more along those lines. He said it a while ago. He said, I'm here for money fights. I'm not here for the title. So the UFC can do whatever it wants. So I think that was Dana and them trying to make that fight because everybody wanted that fight versus him saying, and teasing and saying the money. He's saying, if you really want me to fight this dude, give me, $50 million. And they're like, bro, we're not going to give you $50 million. So he's like, well, then I don't want to make that. I told you, I want to make money and I want to do legacy fights. He's an upcoming guy. He makes a name off of me. If I beat him, he wasn't that good to begin with or whatever. It doesn't do anything for me. Right. So I think playing at the retirement, giving him the title, allowing himself to move around, do a catch weight, do a 205, do a heavyweight fight, do whatever he wants to do. I think that was a smart move for him if he's going to do it. Whether he does it or not, who knows? Who cares? To be honest with you, like Zeke said, if he does fight, I'll probably tune in, but I'm bootlegging it no matter what. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, fam. I'm promoting this thing. Like I'm sharing it with everybody. I got the links. You got them too.
That's another t-shirt. I want that t-shirt.
I'm just saying. And Conor, I lost faith in Conor a long time ago, way before the Chandler stuff. So like like you said with that one, I could personally care less about that. There's a bunch of up and coming fighters that I like. I don't think they get pushed enough. I think because it's a machine and it churns everybody out, I don't think we get that the crop of who are they, what is their story, and how does that come from? just my piece on that.
The excitement comes from the fact that these individuals are great. They have great mouthpieces, and they're able to really sell fights, and
Yes.
other people just lean on their skill and their talent, which one would logically believe would be enough, but it's really not. When they get off the mic, you like, take my money right now. Like, when's this fight? Would you please take this money for this fight? Like, I got to see it. And they do a really good job of being able to sell themselves and promote themselves, which is the reason why the UFC or anybody else love them and they're lucky to have them. So that's what makes you care. The John Jones fights, most of the time, they've been lackluster as he gets older. You know what I mean? They're really not that exciting and entertaining to me. But he does a great job of understanding how he needs to sell a fight, and he's a businessman, and he's a smart fighter and an all-around just smart martial artist and everything, as well. So he understands how to keep himself safe, how to go out and be successful, how to get people to tune in. Conor, for what he lacks in skill or talent, he's just on the mic. It's just like, he's second to none. You know what I mean? He like how Chael Sonnen was, you know what I mean, on that mic, and you definitely want to tune in for those reasons. So they can build their own relevance, when that comes, which is the reason why I feel like that they aren't concerned with these long layoffs, and being gone for a while. Because they're like, I'll just have to get in there and I'll just have to promote it and do my thing, and I'll get people back interested again. But, at some point in time, like I said, just these games, and he's not the only one that played it. You guys are right. It's smart, listening to what you guys said and how he may be angling himself. But, it's so many people now that just jumping and they retiring, and then they just come back, retire, and they come back. It's a game that a lot of people play right now. And again, I think that is really harming and hurting, the sport, because it's really disengaging the viewers, and you don't see this a lot in boxing. This is the reason why boxing still has the relevance that it has, because number one, like Chris said, you don't just see these fights pumping out. You get the stories, you follow these people, you come in their home, and you see the way that they train. They really build really well off the stories. And then you don't see, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's just not as much as it is in MMA with this in and out stuff, for sure. I mean, obviously there are some people, Mayweather and Pacquiao and things like that. I get it, but it's just not as prominent and frequent as it is in MMA.
Angel, did you have a topic? Because if not, I have something else, and it kind of piggybacks off of what Isaiah just said. So I was gonna leave it for next week, but
so I have something, and it's probably gonna lead into. It's gonna segue with your stuff also, probably.
You think so?
Yeah. So my thing was this: just really, I know we talked about this before. Now it's in action. The way you were saying, Chris, about how they have so many cards back to back to back. There's fights all the time, right? And we're not getting the stories enough, and we're not investing in the people. Do you see now that UFC BJJ? They're doing the old school model of how they did with investing in the people. You think they're gonna? Damn, Zeke, I gotta shut the hell up, I guess. Do you think that is gonna not take over, but you think that's gonna fill the void of people wanting more of the stories? Good Lord, never mind.
No.
Forget about that. Go ahead, G. Go ahead. Forget.
No. I'm gonna let them answer, because they got opinions. I can see them on their faces. They got opinions about what you just said.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to share it. Not this week. I'm not going to share it.
What Trav wants. Travis wants us to be controversial. He wants us to run our mouth.
Oh,
so y'all two say whatever y'all got to say, because what I have to say, it was about the boxing thing that Zeke just spoke on. So I'm gonna get on the floor for that, because I don't have an opinion. I don't know what you're talking about, Angel. I haven't seen anything.
Wait, what are we doing? We posted the belt.
He didn't in the group chat. He didn't see the big red belt. He didn't pay no attention. He was like, "Oh, that looks cool. I don't know what that's for."
Yeah, I saw the belt.
Thumbs up. I double clicked on it real fast.
I saw the belt. I was about to say we posted the belt with each other. Like that was.
I saw the belt.
It looked like a WWE belt. I'm not gonna front, guys.
Yeah, it did.
It looked like a WWE belt. I was like, this looks kind of.
I mean,
it looks scripted.
Competition is getting real popular. It's very, very popular. It's getting more and more popular. But I mean, those guys, they want some notoriety also, and prestige. And like you said on that last podcast that we did, man, you said that the UFC is going to help promote the sport of jiu-jitsu. You know, I don't think anybody else is going to be able to be bigger than them as far as promoting that goes.
I don't think that's what their goal is. I don't think that their goal is to promote the
No,
sport.
no, I don't think so either. They
They
take
realize
advantage
that
of
there's
it.
a lot of money in it, and they
Yes.
being in combat sports, they're trying to like monopolize it, and they
Yeah.
want to jump on the wagon. When you say build the sport, that means that it's good for everybody, for the IBJJF, for the NAGA, for the Fuji sport. I'm just throwing names out. I mean, you know, just to give you an example, I don't really mean those particular organizations. See his face. I don't mean those particular organizations. I mean the sport and anybody who has, as their predecessors, worked to be able to establish it and labored in it. You know what I mean? They looking at a product that now they're like, hey man, it's a lot of money in this thing. Maybe we need to expand and we need to just slap our name on it, and then automatically that's different than bringing exposure to the sport, because you're still throwing the words UFC in front of it, and you're still working on funneling all that your way. Is it smart from a business perspective? Absolutely. You know what I mean? When you've built a name to that point to where you can slap it on anything, and then all of a sudden people are going to tune in and want to sign up for it and register and compete in it because they understand that everything that's associated with that name is now associated with this. But as far as being good for the exposure for the sport itself, they don't care nothing about that sport. You know what I mean? They care about lining their pockets from a financial perspective.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why they're jumping on the bandwagon.
But at the same time, too, they helped. I mean, they elevated the sport of MMA also by having with the UFC
so
name.
What about Dana White? Okay, so if he cares about the sport, then how come?
No, I'm not saying he cared about it, but I'm saying, but by having the name UFC Jiu-Jitsu, that holds more weight than seeing Craig Jones Invitational Jiu-Jitsu tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you better. Oh, it's good. Get good. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying sure.
ESPN, do you think ESPN wants to come to Craig Jones?
As far as the relevance perspective, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're talking about ESPN, if ESPN is going to cover, is ESPN going to cover UFC, BJJ, or are they going to cover CJI? They're more likely going to cover the UFC's version of it, right? So eventually that can help elevate the sport all around. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm not saying either one.
I don't know if I would bring up ESPN as far as helping to be able to bring relevance to something. You got to remember they also cover the car jiu-jitsu as well, where the guys are in the car and they're strangling each other with the seatbelts. You know what I mean? Like, so I really don't know about, you know, whether we should use that as an example, because it's quite obvious that if they're covering that, they'll pretty much cover almost anything else. So, you know,
on one of the ESPN channels, they got the cup stacking competitions, big dog. So you know what I mean? Like that's where we're going. But
that's still beside the point.
We can barely get the US Open. But no, what I understand what you're saying. If you're looking at the name in it, the name behind it, the UFC name is a brand, and that brand is gonna sell. Look what they're doing with the boxing. They jumped into the boxing. They're doing the boxing fight. Like I you know, as far as that's cool. But kind of like to Zeke's point though, it maybe get a little bit more eyes on it, but those who are in it know that what it is. It's
I
see the success of ADCC. We've been watching the success of ADCC for years. Now CGI, you know, Fight to Win, a bunch of professional jiu-jitsu cards all over have been doing them for forever now. And so I think what happens is they slap their name on it, and they know they're going to get big name people because they're going to be able to pay the few, you know, big name guys like I got Mikey, and you know what I mean. Like these, you got Mikey from One, because originally this all is basically the U.S. version of One,
right?
Without some of the cool fun divisions, without kickboxing, without Muay Thai, without, you know what I mean. But you do got boxing. You're gonna have boxing. You have jiu-jitsu, and you have MMA. I think more along the lines of that's what that is. They usually suppress competition anyway. They buy up the smaller shows, or the shows that are up and coming, the shows that are competition. You know, it's just kind of the machine. relevance wise, though, I'm still taking CGI and ADCC over UFC BJJ. It's just my take on
Yeah,
that.
because you're a competitor, and I understand that. But
And so that's what I'm saying. You
about-
have the people who are in the sport and people who are spectators of it, and you're going to have a big contrast, just like MMA fighters. MMA fighters versus the guys who stand them up and hang out in the bars and watch the fights are completely different.
And that was my point I was going to bring up too, is the fact that, you know, in one vein, if we believe that he cares about it, you know, it's like, oh, let's do this UFC BJJ, but then don't turn around and let me see one of these fighters, you know, in the UFC start actually working from the guard and from the ground and using BJJ. You know, he wants to see people stand up and bang. He'll cut you in a minute if he feels like you're wrestling too much or you're grappling too much. So you know it's more of a business thing than it is a preference thing, like you said, for him actually caring about the sport. It's like, you know, like Chris said, let's slap our name on this thing and get these eyes and get these people, you know, involved.
And that's the most important thing, because if you got eyes on it, then you're gonna get money, right? And then you're gonna start reaching out. You're not gonna have Rick's Tire Shop advertising for that company. They're gonna get the big sponsors. You're gonna get the Mountain Dews. You're gonna get the Pepsis. Okay, and if you get those big sponsors, you're going to be able to pay your competitors better. Now, who do you think those big sponsors are going to go to? They're going to go to the bigger company, right? If you think that the sponsor is going to go for UFC or CGI or ADCC, whatever, they're going to go with the UFC. So eventually, it's going to be something that could be beneficial to the competitors.
You know, all right. Well, okay. So like, I see where you're going with it. I see where you're going with it, right? And I agree with you, but I also think I think brands and companies now and sponsors now are picking the quality of what they're actually sponsoring over just what the name brand is and all that. Because if that's the case, then people would be wearing Nike fight shorts or something. Like they would be doing something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's like a way. What are you gonna say, Chris?
No, because with that, they used to have sponsors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
remember the UFC used to have sponsors.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest.
I remember when they decided to cut that and then give out one deal and lose that. And so you got dudes who used to make a grip off all their sponsors on their fight banners, on their shorts, on their
walking out to the cage, and a dude to take a hat and put it on your head on the way to the cage, like wear this, and I take.
They would put your hat on. They put the hat on you while you're getting your thing, and don't give you whatever energy drink. And you're not drinking that, especially not right after a fight. But you know,
Listen, so I think I heard George St. Pierre say, I think before he would walk out to the cage, he made $100K off his sponsors. Before he walked out,
easily.
Before he walked out to the cage, like that was like.
But Gene, to something you said real quick, you said bigger sponsors and better fighter pay, right? Or athlete pay, right?
It should, yeah.
How's that working for the MMA community and the UFC?
That was some bullshit. That was some
percentage-wise, just percentage-wise, what they bring in versus what they pay their fighters is the smallest percentage of every professional sport, right?
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
So to your point, I don't see that happening already, and they're the biggest MMA brand in the entire Americas. One for now until all the rest of their problems, come about. They're I mean, still watched more in the world, but the UFC is still the biggest, right? That doesn't trickle down and translate into their fighter pay. A couple of guys get a grip of money, and then the rest of them,
And we're talking about sponsors like they don't already have the money to pay these people well. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So like they already don't pay them at the right percentage when they make more money than everybody else. So adding a sport to it is just going to further that gap. I think it just is because there's not going to be they're going to be built on the same kind of contracts as the current MMA fighters get. Oh, you're only going to get this much for this many matches. Well, you get caught in a heel hook and you rip out your knee, and now you went 2 of your 12 fights, and now you're out of luck. Because you can't come back after that real quick. I promise you. That's not a real quick thing. That's not I tore my pec like that. That's completely different.
Forgot the dude that broke his arm at the first event. Completely forgot his name.
Oh yeah. I don't
That
remember his
video,
name either.
that
But
video went viral. Dude broke his arm, and I was like, man, I hope, I hope he's on a 4-fight guaranteed. I hope everything's guaranteed because, good lord, you break your arm, you don't know how it's gonna heal, what's gonna happen. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, all right, well, there we go, man. You
Chris,
know what's
what was your
crazy?
topic?
My topic?
Chris.
Oh, Chris.
oh, I was just gonna talk about since the last time we talked, last time we were on, we had Robbie on for his Total Combat. I was just gonna talk a little bit about their card. They just had it in June over in England at the O2. Like they had it was a good setup. They had some fight changes last minute. I don't remember 100% why. It's with a K, combat with a K.
Oh, my bad, bro.
It's old school karate combat rules. It was a lot of what they call kickboxers, point
Mm-hmm.
fighters, and kick light fighters, and light contact mat works.
He said what they call.
They do. They call them kickboxers. In Europe, everybody's considered a kickboxer. It's the
Yeah.
sport of kickboxing. You have tatami sports on the mats, point fighting, kick light, and light contact. Continuous fighting, and then you have ring sports, and then they have like regular kickboxing, leg kicks, and then K1. So like and so that's what they call them. They call
They
them
do full. What is it for ring sports? Full contact, low kick, and then K1, right?
K1, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Knee and spinning back fists.
I'm gonna be honest. I watched some of the fights from the Total
Yes.
Combat card,
Okay.
and I was the very first thing that I was really surprised of was everybody fighting in the top 10 pants. I actually kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of like watching them in the top 10 pants. I think it was kind of like one of those things like they're not trying to be like something else. They're trying to be their own thing, and it's
Yeah.
like they kind of adapt. It's like this is what we do in Europe, and like you come over here, this is how we do it in Europe, and I kind of like that. I watched Robbie's fight, and I watched Evelyn Nayan's fight.
Evelyn, I knew that was
Her fight. That one ended with a headbutt. Was it?
Yeah.
Clash of heads.
Clash.
Yeah, no contest. Which the crazy thing was, I'm gonna be honest with you, and not that I never doubted Evelyn. I just have never seen her in that realm of fighting. I'm gonna be honest, man. Yo, she surprised the hell out of me with what I'm saying. Like, we talk about someone who is an 8-time world champion in point fighting. She was sweeping throws, like she did really good in her full contact. Like it was clear she was the strong fighter. Like at least off that first round. That first round, like, it was clear. And if she would have kept that up, it was gonna be unanimous decision.
It was gonna be over. It was gonna be stopped. It was gonna be over.
Hard.
That poor young lady. But like they said, she's one of the last minute card changes. She took the fight on like a 4 or 5 day notice. So I think there was an injury. I don't remember all the details. I didn't get to go over there this time. But yeah, like I said, there was that. And then Robbie's fight. Robbie won his fight. UD. Stick move. The Thai kid was good in the clinch. Like he was good in tight and in close. But Robbie's in and out motion kind of dictated that pace.
Robbie did a really good job with like being able to not just almost like land with a disengage after. Like he did really good with like, I'm gonna hit you, and as soon as I hit you, I'm gonna veer off to the angle. And as soon as you try to find me, I'm gonna hit you again, and I'm gonna create the other angle and hit to like it was, to a certain point, you would like, you're watching like, this is like point fighting Rob. Like he's instead of me hitting you with this with a body punch, I'm gonna hit you with a 1-2 and like I'm gonna hit you with a 1-2 and a side kick. I'm gonna hit you with a 1-2 and a push and a follow. Like it was really high fight IQ for him to fight something like that. And also, it's just crazy to me. Like, almost in a way, it was so good for him to fight sport karate all these years because he had to learn how to fight bigger fighters. That now he's at a weight class and he's still the smallest guy. But where people would think that's his disadvantage, that's probably his advantage. He knows how to fight those people so well that people don't understand how they don't understand what they're getting themselves into.
And because they don't have the clinch.
Yeah.
And they can't keep them there.
Mhm.
So, and not understanding how his distance management comes close and then gets out and then cuts on angles and then moves and then hits you, sticks and moves like that. That young man was swinging and reaching for things and then not knowing what to do when he was being attacked in close without being able to grab. So yeah, like you said, you're right on right
Yeah.
on the nose with that one, Angel. Yeah, there was some really good stuff. The what is his name? Brady, Osen Brady or something. He hit him with the with the jump spin back kick.
Yeah.
Looked like it caught him on the inside of his ribs and shifted him over quite a bit. Oh, my man went down and he was like, he's just laying there in a fetal position. So we knew that one was over. And then the Brooks brothers, like I got to train with Joe Brooks in Budapest last year for the World Championships. I met him with Elijah and all those guys. And just that group, the Waco GB team. Man, them two boys look good. They both came out swinging, rocking, knocking out. Like it's again, it's the original Karate Combat style without double legs, without the ground and pound. You get the 5 seconds. Your knee can't hit the floor. As soon as your knee hits the floor, back up because it's combat. It's standing up. It's that's what that is. So without the rule changes for that, I like that. And for me, my favorite thing for Robbie was to get to see him at 125 at his real natural weight. For him, walking around, you don't cut weight to get to 135. I mean. So yeah, I mean, and you still got dudes, my size who used to, I cut down to 135 once, but there's a lot of dudes my size walking around 165, 170, cutting down to 135. It's crazy.
Oh, hell
crazy
no.
talk.
Hey man, some of these
it's not really when you think about it's listen, weight bullies are a real thing. I just want I want to go back to the days. Listen, that's my topic. That's my topic now.
Hey, listen, man. Some of these weight cuts, there's a dude at our MMA school. I'm not even
joking
to you. I'm not even joking. He said he walks around 195. He actually had a fight. He has a fight coming up. So last Wednesday, I was sparring him to help him for his camp. Walks around at like 195, like when he's not training, right? Or like not like in camp, 195. I've seen him take fights at 155. I said, bro, I don't know, like this. I'm like, at one point I was like, bro, like that don't even make like sense to me. Like that's crazy.
But to hear when some of these people start cutting is crazy too. Like I had a couple people, they're like, I'm not even gonna start cutting until like that Monday.
Hell no, that week of
25 pounds. I'm like, what is you doing? They like, I'm fine. Yeah, right. So as long as by Tuesday, I only got 18 pounds left. It's like, bro, what is happening here?
Barely clip the chin or barely clip it. Barely. Over.
You think Pochon lost that fight to Izzy? Yeah, he got knocked out because his brain wasn't rehydrated. Listen, that's the first thing to dehydrate, the last thing to hydrate back. Listen, no, sir, never more than 7. I preach that to everybody that I work with. 10, maybe if you really good at it or you got a little water weight or something, but man, you shouldn't be cutting that much weight week of. But I don't know, people are hearing up and down there. They're for and against it. I'm absolutely against that in the weight bullying. You see, like the Tank Davis situation where everybody's mad at Tank for enacting that clause. Like, well, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to have a GSP BJ Penn where GSP weighed in at 170, fought in ring, probably 185. BJ weighed in at 166, probably fought at 166. I'm not saying skill for skill, GSP wasn't better or wouldn't have won that fight no matter what. I'm just saying going in that weight size, that difference when you have a weight class for a reason. The weight class isn't to make that weight and then see to balloon back up and to do that. The weight class should be the weight class because you should be around that. You shouldn't be more than 10 pounds more than what you weighed in at because you shouldn't be cutting more than 10 pounds that week to begin with. Otherwise, I personally think you're just a weight bully. And especially because it sucks for me because when I said I'd cut the weight 135, I had to fight 135 because the only people I would fight at 145 were 6'2", cutting down from 185, 190. I'm 165, 160, going to 145, going, yeah, sure. Thinking that's a big weight drop. Thinking I'm having a big weight drop.
It's so dangerous, and it's funny that they take it much more serious in boxing, and they don't take it serious at all in MMA. These guys, again, not trying to downplay the sport or the significance of being able to understand how to be able to make that weight and maneuver, because I do understand that for the legs is important. That's where your power's coming from, to be able to put power behind in the punch, you know what I mean, and be able to absorb punches. These things, it makes a difference as well. So, but I mean, they don't play in boxing. They'll weigh you the next day before you get ready to go out there to fight. They'll weigh you again, you know, and they can enact those particular clauses as well. And it's like, but in MMA, we don't do that. We know this guy's coming in tomorrow 13, 15, 17 pounds bigger. It's like, what are we talking about here? How is a sport in which people are going to be grappling and laying on one another, holding people down, transferring weight, things like this? Why isn't it enacted for MMA? But they take it much more serious in boxing, where this is an activity where even though you're not even supposed to be clinching, and if you do, you're broken because you can't even do it for a lengthy period of time. You know, it's so backwards in that regard for sure.
And they got what, 7, 8, 6, 7 pound weight class differences, in the weights, where we got 10, 15 plus.
Some of them just a few pounds. Like they got like a 120 division, like a 122, like a 125. Like some of it is just like 4 or 5 pounds or 3 pounds. It's like, it's crazy.
Hey, listen.
I believe it, but
hey, listen.
You know.
At one point, I was gonna have a fight for kickboxing, and the guy ended up pulling out. And when we were going, they're like, Angel, what do you want to fight at? I said, 155 or 150 is where I want to be. They're like, where you walk around at? I was like, 165. And I told him, I was like, by the time that the fight week comes, I'll only have to cut 2 pounds. I was like, I'm not going to cut all 15. I'm not going to cut all 10. Like, I'm going to make sure. And sure enough, that week I was ready to go. I was like 156. So if it was 150, all I had to do was go down 1 pound. I was like, I'm good. But
here's why that makes sense. Because when you lose the weight, you are literally a different fighter. You're a different person. I'm sorry, not a different fighter. I apologize. Let me go back. You're a different person. You're literally, not figuratively, a different person. So if you're telling me that I'm trying to get down to 170, right, and it's fight week, and I'm 185, I'm going to be a different person in the next 5 days. Yes. My whole body is going to be transformed after having lost 14 pounds in 5 to 7 days. So you don't even know. You may have cut weight before and fought at that weight, but you don't know how you're going to feel or how your techniques are going to resonate or translate to that actual different weight, because you are a different person. You don't know how your
legs going to work, how did that cardio.
Yep. But if you gradually do it like Angel did over time, he's gradually growing into that actual person, and he's taking his techniques, his energy levels, you know, everything that he's learning. He's actually training that new person, training those techniques and the way that he feels as that new person, because he's gradually dropping down weight, as opposed to just big, gigantic weight cut the week of. You're going to be a different person.
That was my biggest thing, especially leading up to it, was like, I told myself, I need to know when I walk in. I don't want to be surprised by my body saying, oh, like, hey, you know, you either can't do this, or, oh, shoot, you could actually do. I don't want to be surprised. I want to walk in knowing I know all my weapons. I know they all work, and I know how I'm going to use them. That's it. I don't want to go in.
Is weight cutting now more dangerous than it was 20, 30 years ago?
That's a good question. Ask Zeke and Chris. I don't know. That's a good question, though.
Because if so, I wonder what the long-term effects are going to be. I mean, because your kidneys.
We already see the long-term effects. We already see the long-term effects of fighters and men. Now, why do you think TRT was so prevalent in the UFC for mostly the wrestling community, for the up and down weight that fluctuates with your hormones? It changes who, like Zeke said, it changes who you are on a cellular level, not only in an attitude and all the way out with the rest of your body. Like it truly affects you. So now what you're noticing is the older men who have done that and have competed in these sports and have done those weight changes, they're having harder times producing certain hormones, and they're having to get these things replaced in their bodies, not just necessarily testosterone, but other things in their bodies. So it's changed who they are.
See, that's what
hit it right on the head when he said that.
That's what I'm asking.
There's not enough studying in the body of the long-term effects of that yet. I mean, there is, but you're not going to see it because it's not going to change the difference of what's happening.
Right, we're seeing
look at the rule changes.
But we're seeing the effects now of what they did back then. So if they're abusing it even more now than what they did back then, like, people are gonna be really messed up.
I don't think they're abusing it more. I think we have better science now, so we understand the body a bit better. So there are better ways to do it versus going outside in the hot sun in a plastic suit, spitting out because you got lemon heads in your mouth and spitting it out that while you're running around in a sauna suit. They have better neoprene suits for that. They have different things. They have saunas. They're different methods to do it. There are better ways to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
The extreme part is how much you do it and how close you do it to your fight. I think if you want to do it over a long period of time, you want to break that down over a year. I mean, you can do all of those extreme methods. You can do all that, but if you're trying to cut 20 pounds in a week, you're still messing yourself up. I mean, like I said, I don't know, man. It's not a good look.
Do you guys think? And Zeke, my bad to cut you off. I knew you were about to say something.
I can understand each side. Like Chris is right. We were ignorant back then, right? So you didn't realize you was doing damage because you were ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. You're like, oh, this is good. It's working, and not understanding, the damage that you were doing, in which we're, like Gene said, we're seeing today. But what makes it dangerous is, to Chris's point, because we have better science and technology, people are leaning on that, which means that they're starting to abuse it and be more aggressive because they feel that they understand it more. So because now it's open, it's out there, people aren't as ignorant as before, we feel that we can lean on the science or technology or understanding and push the limits even more than we should be doing. And at the end of the day, no matter what methods you're choosing to use, if you're cutting a substantial amount of weight and you're just days out from a fight, it just isn't good or healthy for the body, even if you understand the science and technology behind it.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, look. I was gonna say. I mean, at the end of it, look at what they did for high school wrestling. When I wrestled in high school, when I started wrestling in high school, you were allowed to wear Florida. We were allowed to wear sauna suits to cut weight. You could cut weight from 160 pounds all the way down to 135 pounds. No big deal. I had a kid on my team. I promise you, he was 6'3". He wrestled at 112 pounds.
Jesus Lord.
He almost passed out during a weight cut. We made him move up to 119.
119.
So it wasn't until maybe my sophomore year that they made sauna suits illegal, and because like 3 or 4 people died in them.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is this guy okay now?
Body got too dehydrated. Joey's okay. Yeah, he's good. He's not an athletically built individual anymore, but he went from a twig to a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Hey man, he like, hey, I'm about to eat. Yeah, I'm about to eat now.
Listen, I didn't eat nothing during my teen years. I'm eating everything now. I work as a cook. I am a chef. No. But
6 foot.
No, so like now. Oh yeah. Oh bro, it was wild. So, but even then, what do they do now in high school wrestling? They make you do a urinalysis at the beginning of the year. They do a body fat composition. They weigh you right then and there. Then they tell you, listen, this is the maximum amount of weight you are allowed to lose. You cannot go underneath this. When you do get to this, we are going to test a urinalysis on you before to make sure your body isn't dehydrated and it's safe for you to compete as an athlete. They have gone that serious route through high school wrestling, but we don't take that serious enough in the rest of combat sports professionally.
I did not know they do that in high school wrestling. Holy crap.
Oh, fam! They do at the very beginning of the year. They make it statewide. They have somebody from the state come to your school. They do a weigh-in. You have to weigh in your boxers. You go in, you weigh in. They go over and do a body fat percentage composition test, and they tell you, okay. They do the P test, and they say, hey, you're hydrated right now. You're fully hydrated. Your body fat is this. You weigh this safely, and under our guidelines, you can only cut down to this weight class. And you have to do a test, and you can't be dehydrated when you get there, because they don't want you cutting weight the night before or the morning of, cutting class in a hidden suit where you spit in lemon heads, big red gum, and spitting out stuff. Well, listen, the way we cut weight, man, it was absolutely bananas.
Wow.
So,
all right, so we're gonna move on to the professor's perspective. Hopefully, we don't get in trouble. All right, Zeke, take it away, man.
All right. All right, so I chose this week to work on a back take from the arm triangle position. So if you're familiar with jujitsu, and I'm demonstrating from the guard position, which means that I'm on my back, and I'm going or attempting an arm triangle, which fails, and then we're transitioning to a slick back take. The moves that I teach when I teach jujitsu is particularly when I work with no-gi, because of the prominence of MMA. I try my best to teach moves that can be applicable to not just a jujitsu scenario, but also to an MMA scenario as well. I feel it's counterproductive to be able to just teach a set of moves and say this is going to be just for jujitsu, you know what I mean? And then we're going to teach a set of moves for MMA, because most of the times people who are training no-gi, they end up transitioning over, or you'll have fighters that are training in no-gi because they're trying to get tips and things like that, and moves to be able to use for their fight. So a person's posting, right on the throat with their forearm, or maybe they throw an elbow and they miss, right? You get your head on the outside. And as you can see, when the video plays back, before this even happens, I kind of bump, and I like to move my body, because if the guy is really strong, his arm's not going to come off. So sometimes you can't get the person's arm off, but you can move your body out to the side. So by posting the foot and then scooting the hip out to the side, his arm will automatically, most likely, fall on the ground if I can't push it off. Once it's on the ground, I'm in this position, I like to teach a lot of moves. Like if you're in the triangle position, you should have 4 or 5 attacks. So if you can't finish the triangle, you should still have other things you can go for. A sweep, an arm lock, a kimura, or something. If I get in this position, I should be able to improve my position or be able to finish another kind of way. So we worked on the back take this time. Once I get the hip out to the side, what I do is I take the leg and I actually put the leg on the ground. Now, you really need to be on your side to do this. And when I chop the knee out on the opposite side of the body by using your leg or your calf to actually straighten it out and then be able to chop that leg out, what it does, it forces their hips to collapse. So that hip collapses on that one side. And since you're already on the side, all you have to do is just transition up. As you transition up to the back, then you slide that arm right across the neck in that transition. And not only should you have the back when you finish this move up, but you should also be in the choking position as well, ready to be able to finish that rear naked choke as well. And again, I think this is really good, because you'll see a lot of people when we watch MMA, they'll go for a submission, or they'll be in the position, and if they can't get that one submission that they're going for, then they lose everything. They don't improve the position. They don't have any plan B, plan C that they can go to. So this is great for jiu-jitsu, but even if if the person's posting because they're tired, if the person throws an elbow and I slide my head out and I get the arm around that neck and I get the one arm in and one arm out, arm triangle position from the bottom, I should be able to have some things to go for. I also work the sweep, which I'll show next week. But for this one, it's really good. As long as you're on your side, and you're in this position, you should be able to use that back take. It's really effective. I've used it a lot, because just by chopping that leg, right, and that knee out, once that hip collapses, it allows you to be able to transition up to the back, and then you should be right in the choking position once you get there.
I've been in that position plenty of times, man. I did not know that I could do that. So I'm a white belt. So that was good to see that video, man. I saw that video a couple of days ago when you posted it, and I was like, man, that's a good idea. So I appreciate that, man.
No problem at all. What you guys think?
I'm definitely gonna start trying that. Especially me. Like Gene said, I'm a white belt, so a lot of the times I'm always in guard. I'm always on bottom, so it's a perfect time for me to now start using that. Especially since, for me, because of our flexibility with karate, I like to go for a triangle first. So now this allows me to just have something else in my bag, and now I can kind of just slowly work it in. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I know that position really well, because usually I'm on the bottom and I'm getting arm triangle from the top. I'm always like, so that's why I was like, this is a perfect time. So
the thing is that when you're a smaller person, Chris can attest to this, and you end up on your back. First of all, you just find yourself on your back a lot. You were from half guard, full guard or something. And then you got to get those guys, those big guys, man. Like, they don't discriminate in jiu-jitsu. You roll with everybody. Unless you're competing, you roll with everybody. You have those big guys on top of you, posting the arm, laying on you. You know, even though they're between your legs, that weight is still on top. You got to get off your back, and you have to have crafty ways of being able to do it versus trying to finish. Also, I'm really big on situation scenario. So what if this is a jiu-jitsu situation and I'm losing? It's a guy laying on top of me. He's stalling, and I've got like a minute or 30 seconds left, and I'm down a couple points. This is a real quick way to get 4 points. You know what I mean? Just pop up, get off my back, get on top, and end up winning that round. If it's MMA, you know, we know that judges, they're going to look at who's finishing on top. You know, even if I can't get the finish, it just needs to be some level of urgency at times for various reasons, whether it be a weight discrepancy, whether it be a score discrepancy, or whatever the case is. I might not be able to finish that choke, but I might need to get off my back. This is a great way to be able to do it and just, you know, change the situation around and just be able to get, like I said, get off your back and get on top.
All right.
From hold on. Y'all want to ask me about his technique?
I did.
Now you asked me. Now Gene was about to cut me off and not let me do it.
Are
we out of this joint? No.
I was actually about to pass it to you, bro.
Nah, you wasn't lying.
Yes, I was.
From a different perspective, because these guys, like you talking about, you guys are being white belts. I think my favorite piece of it, I love the technique, by the way. I get in that position, little guy, always being on the bottom, always being on my back, always being down in the bottom position. What I liked most about it was you weren't talking about you have to force the arm over, or I'm magically strong enough to push this guy's arm off me with the friction on top of me, gi or no gi, doesn't even really matter. You really emphasized on the I gotta move me. Because I mean, you guys are new to the jiu-jitsu game. I preach this on a regular basis. I don't have a lot of experience at your level. You don't have a lot of experience moving other people.
Right.
However many years you've been on this earth, experience at moving yourself. So use that as your advantage. If I can just stop them, I can move them a little bit. I can move me a lot of bit. Look how much room I have just made for myself. And again, this comes from being a small guy in jiu-jitsu where I don't get to go, give me your arm, little guy, and put it over here.
Push it over. It's not happening.
And do that. I gotta go. Oh, and look how far I moved. Look at that. Look at that. It's mad. That's all it took. Yes, that's all it took. And then you guys will get there one day, and hopefully y'all got some small teachers to be able to teach you how to do little man jiu-jitsu. And then you got one big dude who's a high belt in there that can show you, hey, I'm gonna show you how to use your weight. You need both of those, because you need for you, Gene, you need somebody like me and Zeke size to be able to give you some of the little intricacies that you're not going to get, because if you can do those with other big dudes, because other big dudes ain't gonna get them. But anyway, that was my take. Like I said, I really enjoy that. I love the bottom arm triangle position. It's not a high finish rate, but you got a lot of options from there.
That's right.
And I spent a year just giving up submissions to take people's backs to understand and to learn how to get good at that. And that's one of my favorite positions, getting across and underneath that into the armpit. You don't necessarily got to get that whole arm triangle position, but to get past that and to get there, understanding eventually your chest got to get over their shoulders and all the fun stuff into the backs. Yeah, spot on. High five.
You know, honestly, I do the arm triangle, not to do a submission, but to hold them down.
Deep posture.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't know what else to do, how else to get out of this position.
And now you
like,
do.
I'm holding on. Hopefully this dude will get tired. You know what I'm saying?
and now you do, because it's perfect for that. See, I won my first MMA fight, amateur MMA fight, with an arm triangle. You know, and the thing is that when that happened, I started exploring it more, because you already know, you're excited, so you going for it more, and you catching it a little bit more. But then as you start to level up, then you ain't catching nobody with it no more. You know what I mean? Just because of the fact that it's like you said, the success rate, you know, starts to decrease as the experience level of the people that you're going against begins to increase. So I'm like, okay, I can find myself in this position a lot now because I was going for it so much. But there has to be something else that I can do from there. You know, and again, one of the reasons why the success rate started to decrease is because I'm trying to push people's arm off, and guys are just grabbing the shoulder and they're just posting the weight across the throat. I can't push the arm across. And then we don't even know when in the match or in the fight or in the roll we're even going to get to this position. In other words, it sounds good when you're fresh, but what if we've been rolling for a minute and I'm tired or I'm weak and I don't have the strength to be able to push this across? when I started understanding how to move my body, I started finding myself in this position even more. And I'm like, okay, maybe so the success rate for the finish is decreased, but I'm still getting in this position seamlessly. Let's start to explore all the things we can do from there. And Gene, you're absolutely right. You're being tired and you're holding somebody down and they're in this position. Okay, I know that once I let go, they're going to posture up and I'm back in this fight again. So I don't feel like I can finish the submission from where I am. What else can I do? Up, I'm on my side. I kick that leg out. I just transition, take the back. Now I'm on top. Now he's on bottom. The fight has changed substantially.
To a point.
Good. You guys got anything else?
No, honestly, man, that was like really by both you guys. That was really good, man. And like also like Chris, you just added that little point of like you have more experience on this earth moving your body. Like that was like, bro. I love that. That was good, bro. That was really good.
I love that.
Any of you guys got any events or anything coming up? You guys want to plug?
No, just I promise you guys we're gonna have another week of the Winner's Circle. I promise you, we will have another week of the Winner's Circle.
We gonna plug next week. That's a whole plug.
We back next week. Not in 3 months.
Next week on the Winner's Circle. I promise you.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. Everyone, stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week. And I don't have any music yet, Travis, so I'm going to end this stream.